In episode 151 of the Guitar Music Theory podcast, I talk about the best Christmas songs with Carrie Underwood guitarist Matt Reviere. Greetings, guitar engineers. Welcome to the Guitar Music Theory podcast. I am your host, Desi Cerna. And today, I'm reposting a conversation I had with Carrie Underwood guitarist Matt Reviere about his favorite Christmas songs. We do some playing together and analyze some holiday classics that are rich in music theory and composition techniques. It's going to be a great discussion, but before we begin, what do you specifically need to be doing right now to be a better guitar player? Go to my website, guitarmusictheory.com. Answer the question I ask you about your playing, and I'll send you free custom video instruction that is calibrated to your current level. Whether you're a beginner still needing to learn the basics, or you need help with bar chords, finger picking, guitar soloing, or playing worship music, I have a free course for you. I can put you on a plan so you make progress, have more fun, and reach your music goals. Enroll in your free video course now at guitarmusictheory.com. You can click on the link in the podcast show notes. One, two, three. All right, Matt Reviere, welcome back to the Guitar Music Theory podcast.
Good to be here. That puts me in the Christmas spirit.
Yes, lots of Christmas spirit in that one. So we're going to talk about Christmas music today. We had started this conversation, I think, a couple of weeks ago. You have some strong opinions about music composition in terms of where it's at today and where it once was in the past, particularly the quality of some of the music compositions with Christmas music. So I'm going to just turn it over to you, and I'm just going to let you expound.
So I always say that my two favorite genres of music are Christmas music and songs where the lyrics tell you how to dance to it. It's a genre that we don't think about often.
Really?
I'm just kidding. It's a dumb
Are you
joke.
a dancer?
Only to songs that tell you how to dance to them.
So slide to the left.
Yeah, that's a
slide
good
to the
one.
right. Crisscross.
Yeah. The time warp.
Let's do the time warp again.
Yeah. Just jump to the left.
Jump to the okay.
Wow, we got off topic real fast.
Yeah.
Okay, so
you know what?
Christmas
Let's change
music.
today's topic. We'll come back to Christmas music in another podcast. Let's talk about songs that tell you how to dance. All right.
So here's the thing about Christmas music, all right? It's kind of like a time capsule of how music has evolved because, you know, being that Christmas is an annual holiday, we hit it once a year, and so we listen to these songs, right? Where other forms of music are evolving year-round, you know? So it's kind of neat to listen to Christmas music and hear what music was like in the 50s and the 20s and even farther back. Just kind of hear, okay, these are the classical influences on Christmas music. This is the jazz era. And what it shows you is our music is getting melodically and chord arrangement style. It's getting much, much simpler.
You think?
All the time. Oh my gosh, it really is. So I do these acoustic looper gigs sometimes. I don't know if I've told you about these. So I've got my little looper pedal. I'll show up and I've got my acoustic guitar. And I'm always trying to fill as much time as possible. And this year I have to do some Christmas music. And the problem with that is it's really hard to loop Christmas music in general because it's got different sections.
Yeah.
But like pop music today, I can think of, a ton of songs where it's just I play 4 chords and I loop it, and that's the verse and the chorus, and I just play different melodies over it, and it works just fine for those looper style gigs. But Christmas music is on a whole other level.
Yeah. Yeah. I used to do a lot of that looper stuff too. We're going to get off topic again here. And I would find songs like Tequila or No Rain or something that had like a similar like repetitive just chord vamp or something.
We need to talk about this because I need more ideas for next week's gig.
Maybe we'll take a break. Remind me. Let's see if we can remember at some point in this podcast episode. You're going to say, let's take a break, Desi. Show me a loop. We'll do that.
Okay.
But not yet. We're talking about Christmas songs. So, yeah, you're right. It was a different era when a lot of this traditional stuff was written, and just music composition was just much more complicated at that time. We might start with something like, here's some, the Christmas song, Nat King Cole. We've got an orchestra,
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
This isn't your typical 1-4-5
Jack Frost
major triad song.
No, you're not.
Certainly not power chords and minor pentatonic.
No.
Yuletide carols being sung by choir.
And you have changes like that sort of stuff. Like, whoa, what key are we in now?
Yeah, got a lot of those jazz 2-5-1s circling in this.
Everybody knows a turkey and...
There's a lot to appreciate here. And it's like, I'm not really, I'm not a jazz guy, but I like jazz elements, so I've listened to it and worked it out, learned how to do the 2-5-1s and, learned the, how to add the sevenths and the extensions and some altered harmony, that sort of thing. And that's about as far as that. I have some friends that really got into it, like learned jazz standards, started playing jazz gigs. Like I could never love it that much. Like I can't listen to like straight up bebop for very long, you know. But also, I just wasn't any good at it. Like I just did not have the feel or the mind to track with all that stuff and keep up with it on the fretboard. Like
it's
like,
hard.
Give me some AC/DC, please. That makes sense to me.
Yeah. Jazz is. I really like that. It's an American art form, and it's kind of weird to think like it's from the United States. It's kind of interesting in that way.
Yeah.
But of course, the old joke that jazz is a whole bunch of notes for very little money, as opposed to rock or country, which is more money for very little notes, which is kind of what we're talking about today, right?
Well, the joke is, what's the difference between a jazz player and a pop player or something? A jazz player plays 1,000 chords for 4 people, but the pop player plays 4 chords for 1,000 people.
That's it.
Yeah.
Y'all, if you're going to repeat the show, tell Desi's version. But this song in particular is one of my favorites. Whenever we're starting Christmas at the Reviere household, we got the lights and the ornaments on the tree, and all of my wife's various Target purchase decorations are put out, and then those strings start.
This gets you in the Christmas spirit.
That's the first Christmas song we play at our house.
Yeah?
Yeah. That is the official sound of Christmas beginning.
So what are some of your favorite elements here? Do you know how to play any of this? Let's turn monitoring off, Desi. Did you think about that? There we go. Okay. Little sound issues here in our end. Do you have a chart for this?
Good. My chart's in a different key.
Yeah. Well, that's all right. What key do you play it in?
Okay, so we got it in D. Yeah, it's in D. Nice jazzy tone. Roll off that.
There's that major 7. We're in jazz land already.
Oh, it's so good.
All right, so we had a little like was that an altered chord going to the 6th chord there? A little.
Talking about the.
Okay, you just played a straight dominant. Okay.
Yeah, of course.
That's what I was thinking. You could put some altered harmony there. Dominant push to the 6th chord. Oh, there you go. Flat 7. That's interesting.
Right.
Okay, so right there, that's cool. What's happening right there? We're in D, but then you just played like an A flat minor 7.
Yeah, so that's a flat 5 minor 7 going to the G7. Little 2-5-1 action there.
So temporarily you're in F.
Yeah.
Which is like, well, D minor, so it's kind of like a parallel scale. But that's the point when, as I was listening, I'm like, what key are we in now? I could tell that we had left the original key.
Oh, yeah, totally. And that's the thing. Like, if you're, like, in most of the gigs I do, I go, okay, I look at the corner of the page, I go, okay, well, we're in the key of D. All right, well, I'll solo in the key of D when that time comes,
Yeah.
But this is totally different. If you were to just stay in the key of D and play over these changes, you would be exposed as a non-jazzer very quickly.
Yeah. Right.
I remember when I was in college and I would have to solo over these jazz pieces, what I would do is I would make parentheses in different sections and just write the key I was supposed to solo in.
At that time.
Yeah. So as I'm reading the chart down, I'm like, okay, I'm soloing in D. All right, I've got a 2-5-1 in F. I'm soloing in F. I'm surprised you haven't stopped me to discuss what a 2-5-1 is.
Well, I would guess that most of my listeners are familiar with that. If not, see for Upward Theory Chapter 6 or Guitar Theory for Dummies Chapter 6. It refers to the scale degrees, the major scale degrees, the 2nd, the 5th, and the 1st, 2-5-1. Give us a 2-5-1 in D. Yeah. Yeah, and so jazz is based on a lot of 2-5-1 movement. And oftentimes you have 2-5-1 movement to other scale degrees, even if it's not, so you could be in D. Hold on, let's get the appropriate sound here. So I can be in D, and I can play 2-5-1 to D, or maybe I'm going to go to, its 6th chord B minor, and I might play, 2-5-1 to the 6. Well, those chords aren't even in the key, but whatever. You can still borrow that idea that exists elsewhere in the scale, and jazz will do a lot of 2-5-1 movement to change away to a different key and then to bring it back. As you were just playing down part of your chart there. You literally played more chords than I think you're going to have. And don't you have a pop gig coming up later tonight? Yeah, I think you just played more chords than you'll probably cover in that whole gig.
I'm tired. Golly, my hand hurts. Goodness.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is the whole point of what we're discussing here is that in popular music, do you hear 2-5-1s alluding to other keys? Probably not, because this is very indicative of jazz era of music, which is when all this stuff was good,
Yeah, I mean, you do hear it, but it's usually in like maybe kind of a jazzy R&B sort of song or something. I'm thinking like, I might be in the wrong key, but, just the two of us.
Oh, yeah.
How about that? 2-5 to the flat 6, 5. But so that's kind of a special little exception there. It's kind of an R&B song where you have some of those elements. Like, you don't hear it very often in just straight up pop rock. You're right.
Right.
I mean, it's there,
I mean, not as prevalent as it is in Christmas music.
No.
Right?
And usually if you are going to hear it, it's going to be by an artist that has more of those. Santana, right? So, if you... Smooth, if I can remember... So we've got, we got the minor 7 flat 5. How often do you use the half diminished?
The minor 2-5-1.
How often do you use the chord that's built on the 7th scale degree?
Never.
Well, except for right there. Use it in harmonic minor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Or you use it in, isn't it in I Will Survive?
Oh, yeah.
At first I was afraid I was putrefied. Kept thinking I could never live without you by my side. Then I spent so many nights just thinking.
There it is.
Wrong, but I grew strong.
Gosh.
So, yeah, and this is why it was so helpful for me to learn some jazz standards and to learn this stuff and these elements, because it will help you understand popular styles of music. If you're listening to kind of a variety of popular styles of music, but you will come across these elements at times, and so it's nice to be familiar with them. If you're only familiar with just straight up 1-4-5 stuff and major and minor triads, you kind of get a little lost here and there. But with that said, you could still make a career out of not knowing this stuff.
And many people do.
Many people do. You've got your phone in front of you.
I do. I've got fun notes about some of these songs, and this one has an interesting story. Okay. So it was performed by Nat King Cole in 1946.
We're talking about the Christmas song.
The Christmas song.
In parentheses, Merry Christmas to You, as I'm looking at it in Spotify here, Nat King Cole.
That's it. 1946, Nat King Cole. But it was written by Mel Torme and Bob Wells. All right. So the story goes, Mel Torme goes over to Bob Wells' house for the purpose of writing songs in June in the mid-40s, and it's a super duper hot day. And so he walks up and he looks down at this table, and there's words written down, and it's this song, Chestnuts Roasting on an Open Fire, And so he says, "What is this?" And Bob Wells says, "Well, it's just so hot outside. I wanted to write a song that made me think of a cooler season." And so Mel Torme is like, "Dude, we gotta finish this song out." And so they wrote this song in about 30 minutes.
With all this complex harmony and chord movement.
Yeah.
And I guess it's pretty sophisticated too, like lyrically. I don't want to ignore the lyrical content.
I mean, especially for half an hour, right?
Yeah. Isn't it amazing? And you hear that story a lot, like, very famous songs or compositions, like, just kind of fell into a songwriter's lap. And they're like, I had the main idea in, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like, have I ever had an idea like that in my life? A song like this? No. So that's pretty cool. Have you ever tried roasted chestnuts?
I have.
Did you like them?
They were a little more bland than I was expecting, but, I mean, you got to try it, right?
So I think a couple of years ago, I saw like a bag, maybe at Costco or something, of like roasted chestnuts or something. And I thought, you know what? Like, it's the season. I should be eating these. It was one of the most unpleasant experiences I've ever had in my life. I thought, I don't, maybe it was just this particular brand or what it was, but it was disgusting. I think I barely got through a few of them and had to throw the whole bag out, which I purchased in bulk.
Oh, yeah, of course.
If you're going to, side note here, a lot of tangents today. If you're going to try a product for the first time, don't buy it in bulk from Costco. Have you made that mistake before?
I haven't. Oh, not that I could think of.
Are you a Costco member?
I am.
Yeah. So I've made that mistake where something looked like, very enticing, and it seemed like it was a good deal, and then I brought it home and I'm like,
maybe I didn't need 6 pounds of chestnuts.
Exactly. Let's move on. You've got some other songs that kind of made your list of things that really impress you.
So can we talk about Sleigh Ride?
Yes.
Okay.
Leroy Anderson. So more orchestration here. And, of course, just adding orchestration immediately makes the song more complicated. Remember when Metallica played with an orchestra?
Yeah.
They suddenly became more sophisticated, didn't they?
Oh, totally.
Yeah. So, is there singing that comes up in this? Was this written with the lyrics in mind, or was it a music composition first?
I think it's just the music. I think so. But I got a backstory in this one.
Giddy up, and then later somebody put some words to it?
I like Amy Grant's words. I don't know if she wrote the words, but it's nice.
I mean, the perk is on point there.
Yeah.
All that stuff. You got a story about this one?
Okay, so written by Leroy Anderson in July of 1946 on a hot day.
Huh, we have a theme
so
here.
Think about it. You've got, I think the other one was written in 1946 too. So you've got this year, this summer, where it's exceptionally hot, and all these songwriters are writing just bangers of Christmas music. It cracks me up.
Where were they located? Are these were they in California or something? Or?
Oh, I couldn't tell you. But check this out. I'm just going to read verbatim from the article I found. Henry Galson went on to develop a more compact, inexpensive version of the window air conditioner.
This is the co-writer.
No, this is air conditioners.
No, wait, but who's the guy that... What's the name you just said?
His name is Henry Galson. Probably not very good at music, but he was good at developing air conditioning systems.
How is this related to this song?
Check it out.
Okay, you're going to get there.
Yeah, we'll get there.
All right.
He went on to develop a more compact and expensive version of the window air conditioner and set up production lines for several manufacturers. By 1947, 43,000 of these systems were sold. 1947. Isn't that awesome? That they come up with all these great Christmas musics when it's super hot outside, and then the next year they start manufacturing compact and inexpensive air conditioning
and
units.
the next thing you know, we got Grandma got
and then
run
it's
over by a
just
reindeer,
downhill after that.
And Last Christmas, I Gave You My Heart. Is that a Christmas song? Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
It's got a lot of Christmas elements in it.
But is it a Christmas movie?
Well, the comparison is always Die Hard versus It's a Wonderful Life. One has Christmas elements, but not a Christmas plot. The other one has a Christmas plot, but very little Christmas elements.
Should combine them. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. So the air conditioning changed everything. Well, look, we live in Nashville. It gets hot here in the summer. So I think what we need to do is shut off our AC. Let's get together this summer, and let's just knock out a new Christmas banger.
And just get inspired.
Yeah. I'll bring a copy of Guitar Theory for Dummies. It's got some great chords in there, and we're gonna blow the competition away. What do you think?
I love it. I think it's a great idea.
We're gonna do it. So this makes your list of Matt's all-time faves. You think this is a pretty spectacular composition right here?
I do think it's a great composition, but in addition to how great of a song it is, when I think of Christmas songs that spook me when I see
There's that perk. Oh,
it's so good.
Yeah. Is that like the whip crack?
Yeah. Side note, my lovely, wonderful wife cannot clap when that happens, and it's like this game we play every year. It's great.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. Oh, it's on beat 2.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1.
There it is.
Got it. I missed it the first time. Yeah, I mean, this is... Oh, there's a key change coming up, too, isn't there? Yes. As guitar players, as rock guitar players, like, we wouldn't even know where to begin to, like, play something like this. Like, it's just,
Well, it's like super fast bebop changes. So if I'm doing a gig and then they're like, we'll do some Christmas songs. Let's do Sleigh Ride. I'm thinking, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to put some work into this
You
one.
can hear it in the bass if you listen to the bass, which is very faint. If I was the bass player on that session, I'd be pretty ticked off. He's pretty buried in the mix. But he's doing all that. He's doing the 2-5-1 movement and stuff in there, right?
Yeah.
They made those, orchestra basses so huge, and yet they still just weren't loud enough,
Yeah.
They need to just put some pickups on there and get themselves a Ampeg stack. That's cool. Let's keep going. You've got a couple others you want to talk about. Then I have something I'm going to talk about.
Ooh, lovely.
Let's see.
We would be skipping around a bit, but we would be remiss if we didn't mention the oldest known Christmas song. Okay.
I'm going to take your word on this. I didn't do any research. But you're saying this is the oldest.
This is it.
How do you pronounce this title?
Oh, my goodness. My Latin's not what it should be. Jesus, I know that one.
Yeah.
Refulsit Omnium, written by St. Hilary of Poitiers in 310 AD.
There actually was a Saint Hilary.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
And what year did you say?
310.
310.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That was a hot era.
Yeah. This song, you really got to listen. Listen to this section. There's so much going on, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, this is interesting. This is where This is where Mr. Guitar Theory is out of his element.
Yeah.
So that's all a cappella here.
Like, what chord is that?
Oh, that's cool.
Isn't that a 310? Anyway, so that's that song. It is so good.
It's funny how we oftentimes look back at earlier periods of history and think, those people were so primitive back then,
Oh gosh.
But it's like
It's amazing.
And we can get all theological here, but sometimes you can go back to some of the oldest parts of Scripture. You're like, this is thousands of years old, and it's like these people are just as intelligent and sophisticated in their thought process and expression as we are today, or more so.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, they hadn't yet figured out how to create the iPhone, but they weren't any less sophisticated. I think that's fascinating.
And think about architecture in this time compared to architecture today, for the most part. I don't want to offend any guitar playing architects out there.
Yeah.
But this song is a masterpiece, and I can't help but think about the cathedrals in Europe, that we don't have anything comparable to that in the U.S.
We got Third and Lindsley down in Nashville, which is like the worst room for live sound. You notice that?
Yeah. I've only played there one time.
I don't know that it's the worst room, but it's not ideal, particularly if you're getting a good drum sound. I said something to Scott Williamson because he was playing with his Toto cover band there, and I'm like, there's something about this room that isn't right for drums. He goes, oh, it's awful. It's the worst.
Oh.
I'm like, I thought so.
He would know.
But it's a famous venue here.
Yeah.
If you come to Nashville, go see an act at Third and Lindsley. So forget what I just said. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, the cathedrals, the architecture, the sound in them. So that is the oldest known Christmas song, according to Matt Reviere. And when did the sleigh bells come in?
I don't know. I think it's without sleigh bells.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all take a listen to this, please. It's so good.
Say the title again.
It is called Jesus Refulsit Omnium.
Jesus Refulsit Omnium. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Real Christmas banger right here.
Oh, yeah.
Well, let's see. Let's maybe move on to something that is perhaps equally impressive, a little bit more modern.
Oh, yeah.
This also made your list.
Yes. For a couple of reasons, actually. All right, Carol of the Bells, written by Mikola Leontovich. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing part of that. In 1914.
Mikola?
Yeah, Leontovich.
Leontovich? I think you're probably right. Oh, and this version is also credited with John Williams. This was probably originally an instrumental, and later someone put words to it.
I think it was originally a choral piece.
Oh, was it? Okay.
I think so.
Okay. So vice versa.
Yeah.
Then Trans-Siberian Orchestra got a hold of it, and they turned it into a guitar shred song. So anyway, but you're sharing some details about it?
So something in this song, we've got melodic minor. So here's something. Can you name another song with melodic minor in it?
I can name one other song. Can you?
This is the only one that comes to mind for me.
And I do talk about this in my theory books, and I say, unless you're playing bebop, melodic minor just does not make much of an appearance in most pop and rock music, and it's probably not worth your time. Harmonic minor does. Harmonic minor, very useful.
Yeah.
But melodic minor, which is the harmonic minor with a major sixth, it comes up, I think I gave only 2 examples. Carol of the Bells.
Oh, it was one of them?
We'll play, yeah. And then the other one is... That's melodic minor.
Oh.
And that's a 2-5-1. I'm playing in G, although McCartney, I think, tracked this in G, but he had his guitar tuned down a whole step, so it sounded in F. But that's G. I'm going to E minor with a 2-5-1 to the E minor, and during that 2-5-1, so if we're in E minor, we got the major sixth, and then there's the major 7, melodic minor.
There it is.
Yeah. And
Wow.
McCartney just pulled that melody out of his butt, one morning in 5 minutes. So
Must have been
if
a hot day.
anyone else can give us examples of the melodic minor I'm sure there's many examples out there. You can go listen to jazz fusion. You can listen to bebop jazz. I know it's in there, but if you can give us an example that's actually a popular, familiar song that most people would know, like Yesterday by the Beatles or Carol of the Bells. I'd like to have some more examples.
And in the vein of this podcast, the challenge would be to find a popular song today which incorporates melodic minor.
Yeah. It's probably out there. Like the sound is not. It's not. It's probably out there.
Yeah.
I'm just not familiar with it, and I might have missed it as I'm listening to music. Sometimes I recognize that we've got some harmonic minor, but I might have missed if there was a major 6th in there. Because I guess if you're playing harmonic minor, but you make use of that major 6th, then technically that's melodic minor. So it might show up in little pieces. If it does show up, it's going to be very briefly.
Right.
But probably the most well-known example.
Gosh, this song.
We led with earlier. So Carol of the Bells, probably originally a choral piece, but then Trans-Siberian Orchestra got a hold of it. It's on the Ghosts of Christmas Eve album, and it's actually called Christmas Eve / Sarajevo 1224. It's not called Carol of the Bells, but it's got Carol of the Bells in it. And so this is an E minor, and it starts out with just E natural minor. So E natural minor melody here. Some nice harmony. Some descending scale. And then here's melodic minor now. Descending, back to natural minor. When you use harmonic minor, and melodic minor can be thought of as a version of harmonic minor, you usually use it temporarily while you're on the dominant 5 chord in a minor key. That's how I teach it, because that's how it's used. So typically a piece of music is not in harmonic minor or in melodic minor. It's in a natural minor key, but then there's those moments in a song where it's briefly raised 7th. So I played a little bit of Smooth. It's really that's harmonic minor, but it's only harmonic minor when you're on the E7. When you're not on the E7, it's just plain minor. See my books, I actually explain this in detail. But here with this portion of Carol of the Bells as played in the song Christmas Eve by Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Shall we do it again?
Yeah.
I'm in E minor. So I'm starting with some natural minor here. I'll start.
Come with the harmony.
So right there, what is it? So we're in E natural minor, but we're now in the 5th degree B. That would be the dominant, and so we're playing. I've got. Let's go through the scale here. What is this? I got B, C sharp, D sharp, E. So right there, that's melodic minor, because melodic minor would be one way to think of it is that coincidentally the structure of the scale is just like the major scale but with a minor third.
Oh,
so
yeah.
like the E major scale would be, if I play those same notes but I put a minor third in there. So that's root, second, minor third, fourth, fifth, major sixth, major seventh. And so you're climbing up that version, that scale, E melodic minor, but you're starting in the fifth degree, B. So would technically that count as a mode because you're temporarily, like the tonic pitch there is the fifth degree B, in which case what's the name? I probably have it in my book. I'm going blank on it right now. What is the name of the fifth mode of the melodic minor? Somebody read Guitar Theory for Dummies and then give me the answer. But it sounds very, shall I say, melodic, doesn't it? It doesn't sound, like obscure or,
Right.
It's definitely palatable to your average listener. Nothing crazy about it. And it's a great example of using the melodic minor. You're just using it temporarily while you're on that B. Because when it goes back to E, then you're just back to playing. That's just plain natural minor. And everything else, that's just natural minor. But when you get to that B, suddenly you get the major sixth in there. And the major seventh. Anyway.
Yeah. This song has that infamous ending lick. Oh my gosh.
The infamous ending, which Matt said, I can never play that. And I said, really try. And then he played it just fine.
No, it's not. It's not where it needs to be. Because there's been so many years, in my younger days, where there's some local church that's like, I've got this idea. Let's play "Carol of the Bells" by Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Yeah.
Matt plays fast guitars. Let's do that. And so I show up, and then the drummer's counting off. I'm like, hey, you're using a metronome, right? Because in my head, I'm thinking I've worked it up to the peak of my speed ability at this specific tempo, and if you do it a little faster, I am out of luck on this, So yeah, it's the lick that haunts me, that every single time I get asked to play it, I'm like, oh gosh.
Listen, guys, he is a humble man. He can play it just fine. Let's jump ahead. Whoops. I think maybe it's right here.
Bendy's.
Yeah.
All right, just doing it cold, right? Here we go.
Well, let's listen to it first.
Okay.
Come on. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Matt Reviere.
Oh gosh.
Let's get a metronome going, huh? So, what do you know the tempo of it?
Oh, what do I got here? Pulling up my tempo app. All right, I've got it in 3/8 at the dotted quarter note is at 62.
Okay.
Does that website do that, or I should play it here?
Can I see that for a second?
Yeah.
All right. Let's hear it to the beat.
Here we go.
So that top note is on the beat.
Yeah, I
up
mean,
there at the,
and that's
what is
part
that,
of the problem.
19, right there, and then the bottom note, the D.
Yeah.
And what is that? That's a B on top.
Yeah.
So do it again. So what kind of
right? That's the thing. Like,
what's the subdivision there?
That's part of the problem. Like, I know these are the notes. Like,
right.
I've checked the tab a bunch of times, and that's what it is. But I don't know how to make that like sink in and feel right. So honestly, it's just like
I'm going to talk to my computer.
Like, just play it as
Trans-Siberian Orchestra Christmas Eve. That's what it's called, right? It's called Christmas Eve. Let's see if we can find it here. Guitar tab. I'm going to look at the tab. I'm at sheetmusicdirect.com, one of my favorite resources for finding accurate guitar transcriptions. Okay, so, and it's like notation. This is not my strength either. So here it is. So they just have it written as 16th notes, but that can't be right.
Like 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4, like that, like at that speed.
Is that what it is? And what is the tempo up top? If I was more prepared, they're saying it's 81 beats per. The quarter note is 81 beats per minute. Here, let's put it in this metronome. 81 beats per minute. So you have to play 1 2 3 1 2 3. So we have 3 sets of 16th notes per beat.
Well, what was the time signature on that sheet music there?
4/4,
and then it should skip to 3/4.
Yeah. We're scrolling through the music here, podcast listeners. I know you can't see this, but so it. Well, yeah, it would be in 3/4. 1 2 3. 2 3. So. But that doesn't seem right.
Oh, it gets faster later on in the song.
Because that's just 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, that'd be. There you go.
Got
no
it.
problem.
Nailed it.
Do it
Christmas
like that
miracle.
for the next Christmas miracle. Well, you've actually spent some time with this, and when you listen to the original recording here, it sounds a little scribbly to me.
Mm-hmm.
To good effect, though. Not in a bad way. And it's certainly in a dense mix with a lot of stuff going on. So as you're playing it here, you're totally exposed and everything. And but actually, can you play along with the recording?
Sure.
It probably,
try it.
Yeah, probably sound better. You kind of get hidden away with the music there. Bendies. Don't forget the bendies. That's Matt Reviere. See him on tour with Carrie Underwood.
Where I can actually play the things that I'm supposed to play.
Yeah. I mean, that was perfect, Matt. Like I said, that's essentially how it was played. It is a tricky part. It's super fast. It is a little scribbly, but it's kind of supposed to be that way. And in the mix, it sounds perfect. So
I guess if I had another guitar player also doing scribbly version of that, it would be the right sort of effect. Next time I get one of those calls, I'm calling my friend Desi to come do some
scribbly.
Christmas
I don't know that
me.
I'm really good at the scribbly stuff. You know who's really scribbly? We're going to go off another tangent here. Vernon Reid, Living Colour.
Oh, yeah.
Like Cult of Personality.
Oh, yeah. He's so hard to duplicate.
He can't even duplicate it. You listen to live stuff, and it's just like... But another side note, that album, that first Living Colour album, Vivid, which came out in
great.
I think it is one of my favorite albums of all time. It literally might make the top 5. I
could see that.
Yeah. And what's interesting is that I don't really ever want to play a lot of that stuff, but I just think it's so good. The whole band was great. all, the bass playing is outstanding, the drumming is outstanding. Corey Glover was a great vocalist. The production quality on it was just amazing. It might make my top 3.
You know the Cult of Personality lick?
Yeah, I know it.
Gosh, you're such a jukebox.
If I can remember it, Well, I'm on a Telecaster here. And I don't have like a Mesa Boogie high gain something.
How do you remember everything you've ever played?
I don't.
That's not true. He definitely does.
Well, let's see if I can remember the full riff. So it's Then he goes into the he goes into that whole section with all those inversions and stuff. I have a lesson on YouTube where I teach that, and I've forgotten it, Matt. So you'll be that'll make you feel good. Yeah. Anyway, love Living Color. But we're talking about Christmas songs here. And we're going to move on maybe to a couple of songs that kind of make my list here that I wanted to talk about. Let's start with one of my favorite Christmas songs of all time, one of my favorite guitar songs of all time. There it is. And by the way, you can go to YouTube and search Desi Cerna Jingle Bell Rock. I have 2 videos. I have one where I kind of break this song down like it's kind of like harmonic structure, like let's ignore the guitar parts, like what's happening musically. Diminished, 2-5-1. Really great chord changes in here. It's basically a jazz song. You've got like this chromatic voice leading and stuff, or not chromatic voice leading, melodic voice leading. Where it's like you have that little melodic line that's descending in the chord D. Just give me some D like this for a second. So if you think about how those notes relate to a D chord, it would be D, D major 7, D6. That's on the 5th of D there.
Yeah, it's got that Christmas chord.
Then you go, diminished chord. You want to learn how to use a diminished chord properly? I'm plugging myself shamelessly throughout my own podcast, which I created to shamelessly promote my books. You want to properly learn how to use a diminished chord, see my books, and I recommend learning Jingle Bell Rock. There you go. You go from a D to the 2 chord in the key E minor 7, and you connect it with a D sharp diminished chord. Diminished chords are connector chords. They're like little half-step movement in between chords. Diminished chords sound pretty awful by themselves. Who would ever thought, if you know what I mean? You were probably like me, like when you were young and a young budding guitarist, and you want to get good, and you go out and buy yourself a chord book because you're like, I'm going to learn all the chords, right? What do they say in Dire Straits?
He knows all chords.
Yeah. What's his name though? Guitar George or something?
Yeah.
He knows all the chords? Yeah. So I want to learn all the chords. So I would see a chord like, this is D sharp diminished. I'd be like, who would ever use that? That's the worst. I'm never going to write a song and say, hey, this is a song I wrote about, my wife.
Right.
I don't get that. And as awful as it sounds beautiful and perfect if you put it in between the right chords. So you got to learn how to use that diminished chord properly. So Jingle Bell Rock has this wonderful jazz movement, if I keep going, which I'll teach you on YouTube. Fives here, dominant, secondary dominant, 4 chord, another diminished, back to the 1. Dominant, secondary dominant on the 2 chord. 6 chord dominant, and then, yeah. Then how about this? Oh, it's the minor 4 chord. The Beatles made good use of that, you know. And then 2, 5, yeah.
What are you doing there? I'm playing this. What? I want to show me that chord because I'm doing this song tonight at the gig.
What
sure
is
I'm
that?
getting that right.
That's the 6/9 chord. 69, dude.
There it is.
Bill and Ted's favorite chord. Okay, so let's take
a new chord. There
let's
we
take this
go.
a step further. So what is this? This is 3, 5, 7, 9. So if you come up here, if you can graze your palm here, can you do it and get the harmonics? If I was louder, kind of Eddie Van Halen tap the harmonic style. It's not happening very well here. Anyway,
because I was doing it just like a, you know, but that's totally the better voice.
Is that in the song, or did I just add that? That's
whatever it is. I'm doing it tonight in the gig.
Is it in there? Is that what was played?
I think that sounds awesome. I think that's it.
Yeah. You could probably leave the... It's kind of tricky to get that D in there. You probably just leave it out. Thumb it or something. Or...
Awesome. Can you teach me the other songs I'm doing at my gig tonight on this podcast?
Yeah, you know what? Just go to my website, click on the private lesson link. $60 for 45-minute lesson through Zoom.
I'll take it.
That's not a joke, people. We can connect. Let's do it. It'd actually be real helpful. So I've got 2 videos on YouTube and Facebook. And one video, it's called How Does This Song Work? Jingle Bell Rock. I'll walk you through the changes and just explain what's happening with the key and the chord changes and the diminished chords and the movement. It's really cool. But then I also have another video where I play the actual parts from the song as they're recorded. Dun, 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 dun. And what's interesting is that the guitar is mostly not playing because it's like jingle bell.
You like sit out on the chorus.
Jingle bell rock.
Yeah.
Da 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 da. Do 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 do.
Show me that chord.
Oh, you don't know that one either? Come on, man.
Well, I've been doing it like this.
No way. This is just a form of an A7 that you've never played in your life.
There it is.
So there's the flat 7G. You got it. Yeah, so it's flat 7. I'm sorry, there's a 9 in there. Okay, we got B in there. There's C sharp. Yeah. Yeah. I should just send you my video.
No, just come to the gig and take my guitar
Just
for
play it. Yeah.
3 minutes.
And then they'll just write the check out to me.
You'll get 3 minutes worth of a 2-hour gig.
All right, we're going to go to YouTube here. And we're going to speech dictation. Desi Cerna, Jingle Bell Rock. And so this one says, how does the song work? But this one says, lead with guitar tab.
Oh my gosh,
and
dude, I so would have used this.
I know. Let's get past this ad. Guitar, I'll provide a link to that. Let's go back to the beginning. I'm showing this video to Matt, people. So it's got the tab right in there, a little tab player, so you can see me play it, and you got everything in the tab. And I'm playing nothing until there. Yeah. And then after you view the tab, it's like a 20-minute video, I walk you through and explain what's happening with these lead parts and stuff. And Matt's mind just got blown. He's like, man, you could have saved me a lot of time this week. Yeah. So yeah, Jingle Bell Rock I think is a great song to learn if you want to get exposed to some composition techniques that do occur in popular styles of music. They're less common than your typical 1/4/5, 1/5/6/4 or pentatonic stuff. And Jingle Bell Rock is just a great example where you just have lots of it happening. I mean, it's essentially a jazz song. It really should be. I think I say something in my video like it would be better titled Jingle Bell Jazz. you know.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
And so you get exposed to those elements, and it's just a great song. And I've always loved the sound of that rockabilly guitar. And, you know, I wish
So
I
cool.
could actually give credit to the guitar player who played in this. I can't think of his name right now. But it's just pretty spectacular. And he was probably some studio guy or someone who came in and just improvised this stuff, you know, because the best do that sort of thing. Next on my list is, shall we do this? Let's do this version. You know this one?
Oh, yeah.
Bells will be ringing. This sad, sad news. Oh, what a Christmas to have the blues. My baby's gone.
Lots of great chord movement here.
Wish me greeting once again. Choirs will be singing.
So this is Please Come Home for Christmas by Eagles. Do you say Eagles or The Eagles?
I say the Eagles.
Yeah.
What do you say?
Well, here in Spotify, it's just Eagles.
Oh, they need an article.
Yeah, you know what? They actually they use it both ways. Anyway, this song was originally, I think, released by an artist named Charles Brown. So it is a cover. Did you know there was an original version of this?
No.
Bells will be ringing.
This sounds more appropriate. You're like, now I see where the Eagles got it.
That.
What a Christmas
Yeah.
to have the blues.
So you can check out that original version.
My baby.
I use the Eagles version because I'm most familiar with it. It gets the most radio airplay. And guess what? I have a free lesson on this. Go to Facebook or YouTube and search Desi Cerna, Please Come Home for Christmas. And I walk you through all of the chord changes and explain it. And the time signature as well. We're in 12/8 time. But just listen to all the changes and movement. It's actually somewhat similar to Jingle Bell Rock. You're going to notice that we've got some voice leading happening in the chords. And we have some chromatic movement. Whoops. So lots of changing. Secondary dominance, 2-5-1 stuff. We even get
Here it is.
an augmented chord.
Oh, yeah.
You want to know how to use an augmented chord properly?
Another chord that you do not hear much today.
Nope, but you hear it in kind of blues and old R&B stuff. It's good to learn it. Or you hear it in Baby, Eddie Money right here.
Oh, yeah.
There's a little augmented action for you. Real cool bridge section in this song by the Eagles. This is the Friends in Relations. So I don't think I'm in key. Minor 4 chord, just like Jingle Bell Rock.
I'll say this. If I were sitting down and attempting to write a cliche 50s sounding song,
This is
it
it.
would include a 4 minor and an augmented chord.
Yeah, and a diminished chord. Probably
Like a passing sort of thing?
Yeah.
That would be it.
What else do I want to say about this? Well, when you get to the next verse, here we go. No. Hold on. Let me get my glasses on. Okay, so So just listen to all that movement. That's pretty cool, isn't it? So that's the Eagles, and then it's got that great solo in there as well. You know, the I think Don Felder probably wrote that. It's so perfect. It's like so simple. He's got this great tone, and like, you know what? As much as I appreciate a good shred solo, this stuff is what kills me. Let's pull it up here. Let's hear. This has got to be Don Felder.
Yeah, won't you tell me
Where is it?
once again?
Perfect tone, perfect touch. You know?
Yeah.
Like, that just kills me right there.
It's so good.
I'm like, that's so perfect.
Story break.
Story break.
Yeah. So we just get picked from the airport, and I'm with the band, like the Carrie's touring band, you know, and our band leader gets a phone call, and he picks it up and he answers it, and I was talking to him at this point, and I said, "No, man, just hang up on them. Talk to me. I was just joking, just being totally stupid, you know, and he, joking back, hangs up and looks at me, and he's like, "Yeah, what's up, buddy?" You know. And so it was like, "Oh, haha, that was silly of us. We're silly people." He calls back, and so he answers it, and he's like, "Oh, hey, yeah, what's up?" And the guy says, "Is this Mark? Yeah, this is Don Felder. Just want to know if you want to come play on some gigs or something."
So he was called Mark is your bass player?
Yeah, he plays bass, and he's also our MD.
Yeah.
Incredible
Musical
bass player.
director.
Yeah.
Not Mad Dog 2020.
Right.
Yeah.
I just think that's so funny. This legendary guitar player, and I'm just an idiot.
And he
like,
called Mark.
"Hey."
So is he going to play with him?
Yeah, he's doing some gigs with him. Yeah.
Matt's phone is ringing. Hang up. Talk to me. Talk to me.
Well, I mean,
Wait, is it Don Felder?
Well, that's my mom.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Right.
She wasn't in the Eagles. Or she wasn't in Eagles.
Eagles?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. I'm a huge Don Felder fan.
He's awesome.
Yeah. It's like, you know, if you could just like take someone's like musical gifts and talent and creativity and just like, you know, download them into me in my hands, I'd say, give me Don Felder, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Because of stuff like this, you know, I'm assuming this is Felder. It sounds like Felder. But of course the Eagles had other people that were quite good as well. And it's interesting how the chord changes are complicated, but that lead line was just played so simply. He wasn't trying to chase the chords like a jazz player,
right,
and kind of outline things. No, he just used this is just pentatonic here, you know? And it's just so darn perfect.
Yeah.
So, and I think I do teach that in my video. Anyway, Matt, we've said a lot. We've covered a lot of ground here. What else needs to be said?
Well, I guess the big question is why?
Why?
Why did music get way more simple than it was in the past?
Yeah, I probably started in like the 50s with like pop music when all of the 1-4-5 stuff became popular, you know, Twist and Shout, you know, Everly Brothers stuff, which I love. I love the Everly Brothers. I love the harmony and stuff. But there was just something, it kind of made music maybe a little bit more accessible to more listeners. I don't know, you know, and I think also it's like you can't deny the fact that simpler is sometimes better.
Like that solo?
Like that solo, and you know, does Twist and Shout need more chord changes? Don't 1-4-5 just isn't that perfect? You know, you know, Bob Marley's Stir It Up. You know, it's 1-4-5. Does it need more?
Yeah. So my answer to the big question of why is we started putting the emphasis on the beat instead of the chords and the melody.
Absolutely.
In my opinion, that was the change. I mean, just look at the choral song written in 3/10. Like there's no beat to it, but it's all chords and melody, you know. And then
that's how we get to today.
Very, very beat driven.
Yeah. Notice how I just happen to have that immediately on hand to pull up.
Well, you have that at all times, right?
Yeah.
Coincidentally, Bruno Mars, that's one of the guys that is keeping complicated chords in popular music.
In some of his songs?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, not in this one, though.
No. But in some of his other
that?
songs, 24 Karat.
I'll have to check that out. Is that, what is it? Right? Is that what it is?
So this is a perfect example. I've played this song like 100 times, and I am intentionally not putting my hands on the guitar because I know I will not be able to play this without a review of some kind.
Why am I missing the first chord there? Isn't it just D minor?
There's a dominant 7 in there.
Yeah. So this is and then you get the major third in the that's like a 4-chord thing, or is it still, or is it a major 6 on the D? I don't know. There's no bass in there. Anyway, you're right. Music became more beat driven. There were other elements to music that were just catchy. The beat, simple vocal harmonies, that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. And I guess like the simplicity of music was a good thing. There's a lot of good stuff that comes out of that, but then it kind of just got overdone, didn't it? And it's like now you can listen to the top. If you listen, there's so many songs that are just 1-5-6-4, 1-5-6-4. It's like it's because that's the formula now. That's like everyone's used to that. It's kind of the same reason why I could never figure out why when you drive around town, why are all the fast food restaurants essentially selling the same thing, right? Mm-hmm. It's like burgers and fries or nuggets and fries, And it's like, can't we have some variety? But it's like people get used to kind of a limited menu, and that is with music as well. And all these music creators know that 1-5-6-4 with the right beat sells. Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, whether it's better or not, that's subjective, right? But what is completely objective is to say that music has gotten less complicated over time. And Christmas music reminds us of that every year.
It's definitely gotten less complicated. Mm-hmm. You're right, And I think that's what makes it more accessible, maybe to listeners, but also to players as well, Yeah. Remember, like, at the end of the 80s, with all that hair metal stuff, it had gotten to the point where, your average kid just couldn't pick up a guitar and rock out anymore. It's too complicated. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? The technique and everything. It was impressive. It was great. But then, like, Nirvana came along and just hit the reset button. It just said, okay, we're killing that.
Hold on. Let me play the verse part of Smells Like Teen Spirit.
You missed it, Matt.
That was it?
Yeah. Beat 2, right? It's just like the clap. Just like the clap in, what was that, Sleigh Bells?
I wasn't expecting us to play it so long. I just wanted to do, here's the verse.
Well, you got to get your chorus on. Like the real warbly kind. There you go.
There it is. Just a button away.
You know what's funny, though? That song is kind of complicated. Like, your average kid couldn't do the... like all the 16th notes and the scratching. There is a bit of complexity there. But Nirvana kind of hit a reset button. Mm-hmm. And they kind of dumbed things down in a necessary way and completely killed all those. Like, suddenly none of those 80s bands could work anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what happened, yeah. Anyway, well, I think we're going to wrap it up here. Good talk.
Yeah, man.
Good talk. Anything you need to update people about what's happening in your career? You had a big tour with Carrie Underwood this fall. You're kind of on a break from that right now.
Yeah.
You get to do some really cool things, and I get to see you on TV every Sunday night because you're featured prominently in the Sunday Night Football video introduction by Carrie. Have you seen that yet?
What?
Because you don't
The Sunday Night Football thing?
Yeah.
I have seen that.
Okay, because I texted Matt when I first saw it, beginning of the season, and I'm like, dude, this is really cool. You're on my TV here before the football game. But let me tell you something about Matt. Matt is not into sports. He doesn't do the sports thing.
I don't know anything about sports.
Yeah, they throw balls, they kick them, they run around.
All I know is that
points.
people from my high school text me weekly now.
Yeah, they're like, dude, yeah.
I saw you on TV.
Well, it's so cool that they actually did feature the band so much because I think in the previous version it was just Carrie, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think there was a band, but I was just surprised how much airtime in that little intro that they gave to the band.
Yeah.
I was like, like that little part of me, I know what it's like to be in a band and, get overlooked, especially when you're backing up such a huge star. So that was really cool. So you guys, you can watch Sunday Night Football. Matt is stage right, house left. What kind of guitar are you playing in that video? Do you know?
Ooh, I think that's my Gold Sir Classic S.
Yeah. He's the guy with the muscles. He's the guy that looks like he should be on the football field but doesn't play sports.
If it was a very short football team.
Yeah. So I brought someone out to see you play with a band a couple of weeks ago, and they're like, which one is your friend? Which one's Matt? I said, oh, he's over there on the left. And they went, muscles? I'm like, yeah, the guy with the muscles. That's Matt. No one ever says that about me. So what do you got coming up? Are you going to hit the road again here?
Yeah, we've got the second leg of the Denim and Rhinestones tour coming up.
Awesome.
Yeah, so...
And I got tickets for that.
I'm excited. Thank you.
In March, I'm going to see you in Nashville.
Yeah.
Bridgestone Arena.
So big thank you to everyone that came out and saw the first leg, and we got tour leg number 2 coming up. Come check it out. It is an excellent show.
Awesome. We're going to wrap up this podcast now, but I want to invite everyone to visit my Instagram page and my Facebook page. Just search Desi Cerna Guitar, because Matt and I are going to have a little fun here, and we're going to jam on a Queen song, "We Are the Champions," and I'm going to record it, make a little video clip, and I'm going to put it up on the social media just for fun. So after you finish this podcast, go ahead over to Instagram or Facebook, search Desi Cerna Guitar, and hopefully you will find a video of Matt and I jamming. All right, Matt, you want to play us out with some of your shreddy, anything you got?
Here's what we need.
Okay, what do we need?
My new chord, hold on.
All right, podcast episode 151 is a wrap. Merry Christmas to you and yours. If you haven't done so already, be sure to go to my website, guitarmusictheory.com, and enroll in a free video course. It's my gift to you this holiday season. Well, thanks for listening, guitar engineers. I'm Desi Cerna. Before you go, be sure to subscribe to this podcast, give it a 5-star rating, and leave a review if you can. Then keep playing and stay tuned for more.